In the past, because Europe was in power, or the European was in power, and the center of power was based in Europe, and when I say Europe, I mean England, all of them, same thing, the European. The European, being in the position of power, had one yardstick. He didn't use anybody else's yardstick. His yardstick was the yardstick. His definition was the definition. What he said was all there was to be said. The non-Europeans weren't in a position to say anything. They weren't in a position to use their own brain and come up with their own definition. They weren't in a position even to bring their yardstick out of the closet. But what has happened, and most Europeans don't realize it, time has changed. And time has changed, the power has changed. Wherein all the power used to be centered in Europe, it's not centered in Europe anymore. It has divided itself up and is centered in different parts of this earth today. Much of it is in Asia. Much of it is in Africa. It has shifted. And as the people in Africa and Asia get some power of their own, they get a mind of their own. They start seeing with their own eyes and listening with their own ears and speaking with their own mouth and coming to definitions from their own brain. The European definition now isn't necessarily the definition. The European yardstick now isn't necessarily the yardstick. And what the European calls racialism isn't necessarily racialism. And what the European calls brotherhood isn't necessarily brotherhood. It's something now that you have to sit down and analyze from wherever you sit. From wherever you sit. And when you look at it from wherever you sit, you usually see something different from that which he sees wherever he's sitting. In the past, he was sitting on you and me. Today, he's not sitting on you and me. So he sees things a little differently. And since you and I were being sat on and are not being sat on now, we see things a little differently. And I think that when we realize that these differences exist, that he's thinking with his mind, I'm thinking with my mind, this one's thinking with her mind, automatically we come up with different thoughts. When we respect each other's right to analyze things with our own mind and from our own point of view, then we won't clash as